Let's create now a linear actuator. So to create the linear actuator in 3D, we have to go in the modeler. First, we create the basis of the actuator. Here we choose the dimensions of the block, and we can see here the preview of the block. And of course I can change the dimensions of my object. Here, for example, instead of 80, I put 120. You can see here in the preview the modification, and we validate. After that, I will create fillets on the extremities of the block. I select my lines where I would like to apply the fillets with a radius of 80. And then I can create the second block, which will be on this first block. Here we have the preview. And after that, I have to create the magnet, which will be on the A block I created now. For that, I will create a parameter, which will be the height of the magnet. A height of 20. I create my block. And this time I will choose the basis point graphically, so it will be this point, and I choose the dimensions. And for the Z dimension, I choose the parameter I created. Okay. After that, I have to create the two cylinders for the magnetic circuit. I will create a first one. And for that I can create parameters. A parameter for the cylinder radius. And a parameter for the cylinder position. And now for the first coordinate, I will choose the cylinder position for X, and then 0 and 10. For the radius, I choose the parameter. And finally the height of 60. Now to create the second cylinder, I can create a symmetry. So I choose the first object, and then I choose the reference plane, which is YZ. And now I have my second cylinder. Now I can make the union between the different parts of the magnetic circuit. And if I look now, I have only one object for the magnetic circuit. And we have a common phase between the magnet and the magnetic circuit, so I have to create an assembly between the magnetic circuits and the magnet. Okay. And then, for example, I can modify the values of the parameters. For example, the position of the cylinder, instead of -30, if I put -40, position is updated. Also for the radius, if I choose 20, it is updated here. And I can also modify the fillets value, the fillets I created in the beginning. For example, instead of 18 I put 10. You can see that it is updated here. Now I have to create the upper parts of the magnetic circuit. For that I have to create a reference plane. And thanks to this reference plane, I will create a 2D sketch of the upper part, and I will make an extrusion. So I choose the XY plane, and with an offset of 100, I have here my reference plane. And to take into account the angle of this plane according to Z, I have to create an angle. So I create a parameter alpha, which value is 10. Then I modify the coordinate system associated to the reference plane I created. And here I choose the parameter alpha. You can see the angle was updated. Now I can create the 2D sketch on this reference plane. Here I choose my reference plane. And now I can create the basis of the upper part. So the basis will be a rectangle. And now I can, for example, create chamfers on the vertex. For that I choose the two edges. And I do the same for all the others. Okay, and I can also create fillets on the vertex. Now I finished my 2D sketch. I can go in the modeler. I have my face here, and I can make the extrusion of the face. So I choose the face. It's an extrusion along a vector, which is a Z vector. I choose a distance of 10. We verify here and can validate. And if it's not the good distance, I can create a translation of this object and move it on Z with -15. I check here in the preview. Okay. Okay, so now we finish the geometry. I can close the modeler. I'm in the normal Flux context and I can mesh.